Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, thank you for allowing us into your homes, even though we're a little late, but thank you for allowing us into your homes, your phones, your cars, whatever you got us on. But welcome to the Sideline Junkies Tuesday Night Flight. It's the big guy KG, sitting in with none other than Mr. Hippity Hop connoisseur himself, the Midnight Rider.
I was giving y'all a little. You don't remember that from Martin, my man King Beef?
Oh yeah.
Like, I must kill Godzilla, but first I must dance.
You would remember that.
That's my dude. It's the greatest Martin character. I'm sorry.
I don't know. I don't know. I can't say.
It's that or Roger. Rogers was a Slaying Nose Kid, right? Yeah, it's either one of them two. I went to school and we nicknamed the dude Bruh Man. So, yeah.
You know what they say, what Fraud and them say? yeah. Bruh Man from the fifth floor. Yeah. First and foremost, how you doing tonight?
I mean, if you can't tell, I'm in a good mood, man.
Well, that's good.
Baseball. We got the Midsummer Classic going on. Home Run Derby was last night.
And that's where we're going to kick it off at.
I got
Home Run Derby.
Hold up.
Recap.
Yeah, I think I'm right there to CC Sabathia.
Yankees.
He was the Indian first. He was the Indian first.
I'm going to go ahead and give you one of my Yankee hats so you can do that right.
Nah. I got a Cleveland Indian hat somewhere. Take it back OG to his
No. Stop it. Home Run Derby last night.
Take him to his roots, baby.
It was classic. It was really, really good. I don't remember seeing a Home Run Derby this good since maybe 93.
Maybe. Last year's wasn't bad.
No, it wasn't bad.
So, first and foremost, to my boy Chris Russell, leave the Home Run Derby alone. Do not touch it. Did it go long? Yes. So what? It was entertaining. It was good. Let's not cut it down to 6. Let's keep it at 8. And let's just do this. All right? Maybe
8 rounds?
No, so it was 8. So it's 8 batters.
Okay.
That start the first round. They do a single elimination tournament. Of course, the 8 goes down to 4. 4 go down to 2. Boom. Last 2 guys. At that point, they're probably both dog tired. And you could tell last night that they were. So Vlad Guerrero pulled it out. I think Luis Roberts from Chicago, he had the longest home run at 470. I might be wrong on that, but that's the longest one I saw. And then, of course, Guerrero won the whole thing. But that first round that Julio Rodriguez with the 41 home runs, my God. He a bad man.
Let me tell you something. I played a lot of video games in my life, and never have I ever once hit 41 home runs in a home run derby. And hold on, we got some comments. Young Mark Henry was good, strongest man alive. My wife thinks so. Ain't nothing. It's all good, man. It's all good. My man Keith. He says, disagree, format is done. Adley had the 3rd most bombs in the first round, and he was watching the semis. We got no sound.
Well, I mean, they tried to make it a head competition. A is for the game. Oh, man.
Uh-oh. You frozen, but I can still hear you.
All right, I just locked up. Hold on. Shit. All right. So I'm just gonna talk until you tell. Only reason I disagree because I think the format helps with gambling. Like the head-to-head gives you a way to parlay the first round into some money, and then if you live bet it, you can parlay each of the next rounds or whatever. Whereas if you had just the 8 guys hitting home runs, you really can't parlay that. So part of this is for gambling as well, not just the entertainment or the head-to-head piece.
And one thing we are concerned about here at Sideline Junkies is the headpiece. So,
whoa, where's the gavel? Where's the gavel? I need Mace. I need Cameron. What are we doing? Even though I said one earlier, I was like, ooh, that was bad. Because I was like, that's the longest I've seen. I was like, ooh, Cameron. My bad.
Hey.
And the show goes off the rails.
You can't lob it off the backboard and don't think I'm gonna dunk it. So let me ask you this. And I say this every All-Star game, every All-Star game, whether it's NHL, Pro Bowl for the NFL, NBA, MLB's All-Star games. What can be done to make viewership go up higher?
I think you got to make
the thing. That was what you watched in the summer because there was nothing on TV, but you had 3 nights of the All-Star game. They don't even have 3 nights anymore. You had Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday.
What was the third night back in the day? Because all I remember was the home run derby. Unless you're talking about like that Sunday night where they had like the softball game, like they had the celebrity softball, and then they had the Monday home run derby, and then Tuesday was the game.
Yeah, because I remember one year they changed the home run derby to Sunday and it threw everybody off. Everybody was complaining.
I mean, you got to remember the home run derby for a minute wasn't really on TV for a while. So
yeah, you had to. It was on. If it was on cable, and most people didn't have cable at the time. But also, if you remember, the home run derby was done during the day.
Right, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, it was done. You had to catch the highlights, but it was it crazy.
Here you go.
What's going on, brother? Hope you're feeling better. Glad to have you in here. How can we spice up the home run derby? How can we spice up?
No, stop. We're not doing this. We're leaving it alone.
Okay. We're just leaving it alone.
What you do is you promote the guys going into the derby better during the season. Like baseball has this wave of young talent that's going to be coming through the pipelines. You got the kid at Baltimore, Cowser's coming up, just came up. You got De La Cruz. Like, celebrate these guys, man. Give these guys all the opportunities for you to showcase them. And I'm not talking about just like you see Juan Soto and Julio Rodriguez in like one commercial. Like, you got to put these guys on several commercials. You know, ESPN has to do a better job of not just showing you Boston and the Yankees every time they play each other. Like, you got to give more teams – no, you got to give more of these teams time in the spotlight so you can grow them as well.
Well, I got an idea, and I know they've done it, but your AAA or AA All-Stars, they have their All-Star weekend at the same time. Why not have a game between MLB and AA?
That's what you have the Futures game for. The Futures game isn't about the MLB. It's the kids that's coming up that's going to be the future. I mean, It's the best way to say it.
Tell about
it. You have Brady House and James Wood from the Nationals playing for the national team, and they're going against Jackson Holiday and the kids from Baltimore. It's a great game. It's just the bad thing is they don't televise that. That game should be on ESPN. If it's not already, I mean, I know it's on MLB, but I don't know if it's on ESPN. And that's something they need to do a better job. That's what I'm talking about. Like, there's a great question that I asked you a couple of weeks ago. And we're going to still hold on to it. But I'm going to throw that concept out there. Does MLB and the National Hockey League get hurt because their guys that you see get drafted don't show up until either a year, 2 years, or 3 years later? They don't have an immediate impact. And I'm going to leave it at that.
Well, before we get off the topic and move on, how about they continue to do the old timers game and televise that?
Or I mean, that would be a good thing, but I don't know what kind of shape Kyle Ripken, Ken Griffey, because those would be the old timers. I don't know if I want to see that game.
But see, Ken Griffey's still hitting bombs.
Well, I saw that
at the USA practice.
BP. Yes, sir.
He's still hitting bombs.
Sweetest swing, baby.
And Kyle, Kyle still. I think Kyle can still do his thing. I mean, it's not you playing pretty much softball.
So what I would do with Kyle, for Kyle, we would get Chan Ho Park out there so he can groove him another fastball down the middle like he did in that All-Star game.
See, that's what you got to worry about. You got to worry about the older pitches. You got to worry about them arms holding. Because, see, I'm going to tell you something. Nolan Ryan is, 70-something now?
Mm-hmm.
And I read something about a month ago that he's still throwing in the 90s. And I don't mean he's throwing 90. No, they say he's still throwing 98. That's down from the 104 he used to throw. But the dude's in his 70s throwing 98. I would him, of course.
I'm trying to think because I used to go. It used to be Luke Appling, Larry Doby. I think Mays played in a couple.
Hank Aaron played in a couple.
Hank Aaron played in a couple. You remember back at RFK?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I'd love to get Barry Bonds out there.
That'd be perfect. But the problem is the game doesn't embrace Barry anymore.
And that's sad.
But one of the best hitters and players of all time. Again, baseball has the biggest problem. Your best hitter, or your second best hitter, I'm sorry. The guy with the most hits, I'll say it that way. Because the best hitter is Tony Gwynn. But the guy with the most hits is not in the Hall of Fame. The guy with the most home runs is not in the Hall of Fame. Doesn't make sense. Make it make sense.
Hold on. Let's stop at this stop sign right now. And I want to look left and I want to look right. And I just want to say something. A conversation that I would love to sit in on if it was possible at all. Tony Gwynn and Pete Rose talking about the science of hitting. Just them talking. They're not talking to nobody specifically. Them two just talking about the science of hitting.
Well, there's an episode on MLB Central. It might not MLB Central. What's the FS1? Whatever the FS1 show. There's a talk between Pete Rose and Alex Rodriguez
and Frank Thomas.
Right.
Yeah,
that's pretty decent too.
That right.
It ain't what you want.
No, but the thing is, he put on a hitting clinic just talking about it.
So now you're gonna make me go back to what I always talk about. I've been talking about. You gotta check out my man Mark DeRosa, 10 a.m. MLB Central. He does a breakdown every couple days on a hitter. It's the best. It's one of the best breakdowns in sports. All right, he should get an Emmy, but I'm gonna stop there.
Well, I'll say this. It's a video of Tony Gwynn. Just he was giving a tutorial about hitting, and just talking about how to hit yourself out of a slump. What pitches to swing at if you at discount, if it's 2 men on, if it's a man on second, what pitches to swing at, how to swing and drive that run in. I'm like, yo, this is crazy. We really had some of the greatest talent when we were kids. And now it's evolved to the point where it's not a science anymore. It's just more analytics.
Well, that's a science, buddy.
Analytics is but hard. No, mumbo jumbo.
The one thing we gotta also remember is there's the days of the Charlie Mortons, the Kyle Hendricks, the days of the Charlie Lebrants. Trying to think of anybody else. The days of the soft tossing lefty. I think it's Tom Candiotti. The Levon Hernandez of the world. Those guys ain't walking in that door no more. He's focused on gas. Right now, I mean, think about it. The first pick in the draft, the kid Schemes, he threw 100 pitches and 46 of them went over 100 miles per hour. We're in a whole new world. Mike Trout was talking about, there's a nice interview I forgot where he does it, but he's talking to I don't know, he's talking to McAfee or who it was, but he's talking about hitting in baseball now. He's like, man, it's tough because all these jokers are coming in throwing 95, 98, hitting 100, touching the black with 100. Ooh. And then you talked about Gwen, and since we're talking about Gwen, I got to talk about my man Rod Carew, was also a bad man as well.
Yes, indeed.
That's another guy with a bad swing. I still don't understand how he hit the baseball with his batting stance, but yeah.
Like, I've watched, and I wish that I could have seen the things that I've seen as an adult and the tutorials that I've watched as an adult that I didn't know existed. If I would have seen those at a younger age, I think I'd be like, all right, I'm inspired. I can go do this, this, and this. So,
for sure. But, say that one more time.
I said, but second topic.
Uh-oh.
In-season tournament part 2. I think you had something you wanted to say on this. It's like you was leaving out and you was like, and another thing. It's honestly just I wanted to clarify some of the things because you know how it is. When we give you information, we want to make sure you get the right information so you can move on with your day and know what you're talking about when you get by the water cooler. You know what I'm saying? You ain't gotta give me credit for it because you can stand by the water cooler and say all the things you heard me say, and you sound like a bright man. You sound like a genius. Your friend's like, damn, he sound like he know what he's talking about. Boom. Even though you repeating what I said, I'm okay with it. But no, the in-season tournament, seriously, it starts November 3rd. And I think the one thing that we missed is there's 6 groups. All right, 3 in each conference. They're broken down 5 teams, five team groups. In your group, you play each team once. You get two home games, 2 road games. That makes up the 4 games that you play. After those 4 games are up, that should probably put you right around the first part of December. So the 6 teams with that win their bracket, they automatically advance. It's like it becomes World Cup soccer. That's why I think I like that they call this the NBA Cup, because this is basically World Cup soccer, just in basketball form. So the 6 teams that win their pools are in, and then the next teams with the best record qualify as wild cards. So then you have 8 teams in a single elimination bracket. All that leads up to the championship, where the semifinals were in Vegas. The finals are in Vegas as well, which is them trying to use Vegas as this is the beauty of it. They use them as a test plant to see about expansion, because Seattle and Vegas are the potential 1 and 2 in terms of the teams or the places where they want to go with expansion. The only thing that makes them nervous about Seattle is Seattle's had the city itself has had some financial issues, so they got to figure that out. But there you go, in-season tournament, kind of explained and cleaned up for you. Okay.
So your regular season game again, it'll, like I said, in that header you'll see regular season game, in-season tournament implication, or whatever they want to call it, and then if they're smart, or on that Wednesday after those games are over, they'll give you on ESPN, they'll give you a standings of each one of the groups and let you go from there.
All right. You got it. I'm not even gonna rebuttal that. I'm gonna leave it alone. Jumping back to MLB, Eric Willis said, due to the fact these new pitchers won't have the longevity or innings pitched to achieve greatness or records. And he said their arms won't last long enough. And that's a case that's been happening quite often, because you got players that are starting to throw curves and slurves and everything else, change ups, things that put wear and tear on the arm, put a little torque on the arm, and they're doing it at earlier ages when they shouldn't be. So,
absolutely correct. And I just think the whole other thing with that too is they're throwing at a higher miles per hour. That I think the new standard for the Hall of Fame for baseball is going to be like 200 or 250 wins, because I don't think you're going to get to that 300 wins that they required for everybody else back in the day. And I think 2,000 hits might become the new standard barrier instead of 3,000.
And you know what? I don't like that. Lowering the bar
It's not lowering the ball.
That 500 home runs, 3,000 hits, 300 wins as a pitcher. Those are automatic bids to get in the MLB Hall of Fame. Just like for a running back that maybe people didn't think was good, but 10,000 yards used to be the plateau to get into the NFL Hall of Fame. That used to be at 10,000 yards.
And that's not going to change.
What is it? 25,000 points in the NBA most times gets you in the Hall of Fame. If you got 25,000 points, that gets you in. 30,000, you're guaranteed.
But you got to understand there's a shift going on in the game of baseball that I don't know if baseball or the statisticians took into account. And if any sport could say, oh, you were playing against plumbers and all that, baseball maybe could say that because there was a span where baseball didn't allow guys that look like you and me, even in the sport. There's also a time and a place where a lot of guys that were pitching back in the day, yeah, you could go 9 innings, but you weren't throwing 90.
Nah.
You was throwing 87, maybe 85.
And you was also doctoring the ball as well.
And then you had exceptions to the rule like Bob Gibson. But, I mean, and then you had the mound was up higher. So there are things that have changed. And I think baseball, in order to keep fans engaged and understanding they're seeing greatness, you got to adjust a little bit of it to make sure you encapsulate the great players. Because you can't tell me Max Scherzer isn't a Hall of Famer. No matter what his numbers are. Max Scherzer is a Hall of Famer.
I'll give you that. I'm not going to argue that. But if that's the case,
take your time. I know you're a historian. I just circuit break. Control Alt Delete. Control Alt Delete.
Because I know what I want to say, but it's like guys that get up for Hall of Fame induction, I think they really should deny their Hall of Fame induction until, be like, no, I don't want to go in. Not until Pete Rose goes in. Not until McGwire, Bonds, Clemens, Schilling. These are guys that deserve to be in the Hall of Fame for what they've done. Their accomplishments on the field. Here's the thing. You say, oh, well, they were tied to this and they were tied to that, but did you catch them? Did they test positive for a banned substance? So you're gonna have your guys that are Hall of Famers, but you got guys that came before that are Hall of Famers as well, but they get no love whatsoever, and I think it's wrong. But they put up the numbers. Nobody is ever going to break Pete Rose's hit record. Just like I don't have anybody breaking Barry Bonds' single season home run record. I don't have anybody catching him in all-time home runs.
Right.
These are things. This is rarefied air. Nobody's catching that. Sammy Sosa is another one that deserves to be in the Hall of Fame. You know, even though he's not the dark-skinned friend that looked like Michael Jackson. He the light-skinned friend that looked like Michael Jackson now, but still, he deserves to be in the Hall of Fame. Sammy Sosa had a career that was excellent.
Right.
You can't deny these guys these things, but I'm just saying. Now, this next topic. It's been reported that the Commanders are lobbying Congress to do what I've been saying for the last 4.5, 5 years. Even wrote an article on it.
Go ahead.
I wrote an article on it about how it would be great to come back to RFK to, strike up the ghost of the past. And everything.
Hold on. So it's kind of like if you wake up the echoes. Go ahead. Keep going.
The ones that are calling her name. See, we but I've been saying it for 5 years now. Everybody, I'm reading posts and I'm reading articles on Washington Post and Twitter. And it would be great if Washington came back to RFK because it means jobs, it means revenue for the city. It's what the fans want. But I've been saying that, and everybody's telling me, that's a pipe dream. It's never going to happen.
But they were right for telling you that because you still had Daniel J. Snyder or Daniel Jerome Snyder or whatever his middle name is. Right. So the issue was never the team at a certain point became the politics around the team. And with this council, I've been saying it for years, this council is very political. And when I mean by political, I mean they have their beliefs and they're going to sit beside their beliefs. And I tell anybody, I think Phil Mickelson is just waiting with it. If you go to the room with the briefcase and you drop off the bag for Mickelson, he will be the biggest Redskins fan. He'll come out in a Doug Williams jersey with a Redskins hat turned like mine, listening to your boy DJ Oh Goody Woody, putting his left hand up, saying "Who are we?" at the announcement that the Commanders coming back to RFK. Here we go.
Left hand up. Who are we? The Commanders. Imagine that. Playing in a new stadium, and they talking about building. They're not talking about we're just going to move back into RFK and renovate. No.
Oh, you got to tear that down. That's asbestos. That's the only reason they haven't put dynamite in that place is because of the asbestos.
I can believe that.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. This is long before we started this show. I had a conversation with some guys at work. They said that's not possible. I said, why is it not possible? I said, why is it not possible to take RFK? Take all the metal, scrap. You're going to get money for that. People going to want pieces of that. All the monuments you got outside. Now, if you're not familiar with RFK, there are giant plaques on the side of the stadium. There's also 2 really large helmets. Go ahead.
So, all right. This is just for me. If you rebuild a stadium at that place, what do you call it?
Do you
call it RFK?
Nah, you know it's gonna be corporate naming. So it's gonna be corporate naming. It's gonna be something. I'm gonna tell you right now, the nickname is gonna be the house that Josh built. That's gonna be the nickname. Now you call it something like. Give me a good corporate sponsor, something that's worthy of putting their name on the stadium.
What we got? Let's think of some place. Foreman Mills Stadium. Guys, you can be like Foreman Mills. Nah,
oh Lord,
Pepco. Because we need something. There we go.
You could call it Potomac Energy Stadium at RFK. Whatever it is, the corporate name is going to be at RFK. Go ahead.
So maybe we call it. I'm gonna change it a little bit. Maybe you call it Pepco Park at RFK Stadium.
Yeah, but see, Pepco Park, that's too close to Petco Park.
Well, I mean, but we're not talking. This is hypothetical, so let's not get caught up in the minutia. But what I'm saying is, you give RFK Stadium still the facade,
right?
The ambiance, and then you still give it a different name. That way, you keep the corporate money coming in,
right? And Pepco. What is Pepco? Pepco is the electric company that's central to the DMV.
Right.
That's what kind of electric we have. When you go out to Delaware, that's Delmarva. You go to Southern Maryland when you get off the plane down there in Charles County, that's Smecco country. They got down. That's Southern Maryland Co-op. So that's different. but Pepco is DC. That's about as DC can get almost. I mean, only thing better is if you call it Pepco Park at RFK and your hottest item is either you got Eddie Lennox on one side of the stadium, you got Danny's on the other, and they both sell fried wings and French fries, fried hog with salt, pepper, ketchup, and mumbo sauce. I mean, it writes itself, people. But you do that, and I was always told, yeah, that's not possible because you can't drill down. I said they're already sitting on top of a metro station. You have the infrastructure for people to come. You have transportation. That's good because you got a bus bays, a metro station. Not to mention ride shares. You build a lot that has a ride share. You still have all of that parking. You utilize that parking for the people that want to come from Virginia if they don't want to catch the train. And most people catch the train. Those trains are crowded, but it's some of the greatest feeling when you around. I don't know if you've never experienced a Redskins game day, especially when they're on top and they go into the game. If you've never experienced a walk to the stadium, even at FedEx, it's a different feel. But it would be even better if it was at RFK. You're on the water. You're at the metro station. What more can you ask for?
All right, so let's come back now because we're in 2027 right now. 2028. No. But I'm saying this for a reason. So let's come back now to 2023.
Okay.
We got Josh Harris possibly taking this over in what's the day? The 10th? So in 10 days or 9 days, we got Josh Harris about to take this over. How does Josh Harris, how does he change the game experience and make the people that are coming out this season feel the impact of his ownership?
My opinion.
Don't say cut concessions.
No,
we need something solid. I need something different than that.
When you're a part of a business and your business has consumers, you want to impress your consumers and you want your consumers to buy your product. What do? You have a focus board. You have focus meetings. What do we need to improve? You listen to the fans, something that Daniel Snyder has not done in 20 some odd years. Listen to the fans. What's bad about the fan experience? The commute, the traffic getting in and out, the food, the seating. I mean, what more can we say? That okay, this is how we can fix this right now. We'll fix this with revitalizing what we have for right now.
So that's part of the plan right now, and this is what I think was part of the hiccup in the move that they were making. It's that I think Josh Harris got money from Snyder to make changes they want to make right away. So sound quality, TVs, the sound system, all that stuff is stuff they're trying to impact right away. And I think that's part of that little hiccup that they had in this deal is because, of course, he couldn't say, oh, I want to do these things right now, and he only take over the team in July. They had to make some arrangements or prearrange some things to make it work. So that way we come into 2023, boom. I got two things I want to see him do.
Okay.
First, I want him to call Metro, ask them how much, because they're not charging a lot of people for fares. Charge them or ask them how much it is to buy 20 buses out from you. I need them before the game, and I need them after the game. And I need them cycling through that Largo Metro station, picking people up and bringing them to the stadium so they don't have to take that mile walk. If you're in the pink or whatever the furthest part of the stadium or the parking is from, I need you getting rides up. I need golf carts. I need all that stuff to help people. Now I know some people want to walk, and if that's your choice, I'm gonna give you that choice. But I want you to have the ability to not have to take those steps. I'm trying to take care of my elderly. I'm trying to get my guys back. That I went to games, and the guys I know, they were taking dialysis on Thursday so they could be recovered by Sunday to go to the game. You know what I'm saying? I want those fans back. I need those dogs. They may not stand up on third down, but that's what they believe in. They believe in the burgundy and gold.
Here's my thing. I get what you're saying, but instead of Metro, get the bus, because the bus has the buses, because they don't run on the weekends like that. They don't run on Sundays, and they have big buses, and the auxiliary lots, the one that was up Bright Sea Road, the one that was on Landover Road, they ran from there all the way to the stadium. So you bring that back, I'm telling you, you're gonna get a lot of people back.
I just want this to be easy for the fans to get into the building, and then I want to dedicate one of the entrances to the season ticket holders, and maybe they don't come in. Like maybe I make a special entrance that comes with like I'm talking about. I'm putting a burgundy and gold carpet to the section, so that way they can come in for their pregame buffet or whatever, and then we got some ticket turnstiles right there. So all they do is go from the buffet right into the stadium. I need them to have a VIP experience.
Yeah, because I mean the amount of money you spending for that season ticket. Yeah, I agree.
That has to become exclusive and not something that like that needs to be treasured and shown that it's valued. Like I know they try to have gates for season ticket holders, but the problem is, I mean, if you've been to a game, you know how many people get clogged up at the gates trying to get into the thing. So you can't really try to sort out or weed out the season ticket holders. Like you gotta make it something special for them, so they don't get caught up in the wash.
Good, I get that, but here's my thing. You have to. We have more than one entrance to the stadium, and I honestly, everybody uses the Energy Man entrance, so especially you getting off the train, the buses, you use the Energy Man entrance. I don't know if anybody uses any other entrance, but when you come in that way, it is so hard sometimes to navigate the stadium. And that's one of the hardest parts. You can't find an escalator going up. You can't ride the elevator because you're not disabled. Okay. The attractions that are part of the stadium, like on the club level, you have the Sean Taylor installation. You have what else? What else is on that level? You have all of the lounges and everything, but you can't access that. Just the concourse of it, which is kind of messed up. But if I'm there pre-game, I should be able to access all of that. You know.
So that's that. So you know what? You're trying to set me up for success. So what I would do is, we got a couple of these sections where we're not using certain levels. So I push those levels into concourses, or make them, instead of making the concourse and then the stadium where the seats are, you open that all up and make it like a bar and entertainment area. And I know they've done some of that in some places, but that's what I would do. I would make it an attraction.
Well, I'll tell you another thing. Bring back the first ladies of football. But
I don't think you can get that no more.
No, this is why I say bring them back. Not because of the eye candy aspect, but bring them back because when you had them and they were, I wish there was more of them, because they used to go to different sections and give out stuff, take pictures, and then, you know, the raffle to upgrade your seat, stuff like that. Those things right there made it worthwhile coming because they did their job. And give them more stuff that they can hand out, because good God, they didn't have enough to hand out in certain sections. I love. Now, don't get me wrong. I don't know what they call them. The Commanders dance.
Commander Pod.
Yeah, they're okay. They're okay. They're not as bad as I thought. They are. I love it when they get the beat in their feet. I mean, I guess that's just the DCM. Go ahead.
No. I forgot one thing. I would personally, if I'm Josh Harris, send letters or make phone calls, depending on our level of contact, with anybody that used to be a member of the Redskins marching band. I tell them in the letter, this is a new regime. We value you as part of the Redskins experience. Please come back. We have a spot for you. Because right now, when I listen to the band, if they was potato salad, they got raisins in them. That's all I'm saying. When I listen to the band, they got a little bit like their featured dish, green bean casserole.
Oh, Lord.
You know what I'm saying? We need yams. You know what I'm saying? Sweet potato pie. You know, that's all I'm saying. Because you get what I'm saying without me saying what I'm saying, because I'm saying what I'm saying.
No, I get exactly what you're saying.
Yeah.
Now, to hear, speaking of the band, not having the marching band, and they used to march around the whole stadium, and then they would go in, and when they went in, they played in the concourse, and everybody stopped. If Washington won, what did that band do? They played outside of the Energy Man and say, I have video of that. That was from the Detroit game, matter of fact, that I went to. We won that game, and I was like, this is the sound of a real band. We coming down the escalators and the drum line going. And then everybody stops. You hear Hail to the Redskins, and they play it over and over and over. And it's like you feel so euphoric and so good. I mean, it feels better after a win, but damn it feels good.
It's a party, man.
And that's my thing. We're the Commanders. And that whole Hail to the Commanders, please don't do that again. I'd rather just have the melody of Hail to the Redskins and leave it at that. We don't need the words, okay? Let's just have the melody of it.
But y'all do know that song was terrible. It's just we won. That made the song good.
I told you this once before.
Hail to the Redskins is really a great song because during the stretch, during the 80s, we was just winning a lot. No, because it's funny because everybody, when they heard the run, pass, punt, score, let the point soar, like they were like, "Oh, that's terrible!" Like, dog, that's been in the song. That's the part where you would go.
Let me tell you something. Hail to the Redskins is the first song I learned how to play on my recorder. Please stop. Please stop. But it's nothing like a Washington score, especially a good touchdown. And everybody in the stadium's yelling, is loud. And then extra points kick, you make the extra point, and then the whole stadium breaks out in the Hail to the Redskins. I mean, of course, we're not going to get it, but if they play the melody, the fans will sing the words. You can't stop them from singing it. So then also let the fans bring signs into the stadium again. But we can go on about this all day long. Man, I think we did this in record time. Because we ain't got nothing left. Yeah.
Maybe I missed the topic.
No. I mean, only thing that we missed was what's supposed to be talked about in to wrap it up. And while we go over that, let me say this. We're talking about the Commanders and things that we played. My good buddy, DJ Woody. New song out with him and his nephew, Command Time. Go check that out. They get ready to shoot the video for that. Like, we're going to have another one that's going to ride, that we're going to be able to ride to all season long. But I'm going to say this. Knowing somebody personally, and you seeing them take off with their passion. That's got to be one of the greatest feelings, because I sit there and I'm like, yo, that's my man's song played in the stadium. And I said that when it came out, I was like, yo, they got to play that in the stadium. And then now you started hearing it. National shows picking it up. Everybody's picking it up. Now he get ready to follow it up with another one. Nothing but love, man. So proud. Like, that's why after every win last season, what did I do? Had to play the graphic. Left hand up. Who are we? The Commanders. My wife couldn't stand it. But that's because, she worked for Dallas, but she Commander owned. That's right. Who are we? That's all right. It's all right. Make sure she ain't coming tonight, because I might be in trouble. But
you like pressing that button, bro. I'm just saying. Boy.
She come around that corner. I mean, all I got to do is say 5-time world champion. She back up. 5-time world champion. Okay. But
here we go.
There. See, she can't come out because I'm 5-time world champion.
Man. Yo, I forgot. Dylan Cruz to the Nationals.
Dylan,
second pick.
But they said that he was actually ready to cut. That's where he wanted to go. So when I think they took Skeens first, and when Cruz came to the Nationals, 5-time world champions.
No, she must be in the wrong.
Yeah, she's advancing. But he was actually happy to come to the Nationals.
Yeah, so there's scuttlebutt that he actually put out there to like the Pirates that he would want money over slot. And just to keep it as simple, in baseball, you get a pool of money for all your picks. You got 20 rounds of picks. That pick itself was going to cost like $8.5 million. So at $8.5 million, you only get $12 million left to spend on the 18, 19 other guys that you draft. To keep it as simple as possible. He wanted money over slot if Pittsburgh picked him. So he didn't want 8. He would probably want 9, maybe 10. So that's another thing that they got to think about. They had to think about in that scenario. So instead, they went with Skeens, and I think that's great because he's probably their best pitcher since Gary Cole.
Who's best pitcher?
The Pirates.
You about to say the Athletics? Well, man, what this Philadelphia Athletics?
The Pirates. I mean, in the last 10 years, this kid's going to be their future as long as he can stay healthy. And in 7 years, he might be a Yankee. Help you out.
Don't hate, baby. Don't hate.
I'm not hating.
You always find a reason to dog my team. I don't do that to you. Why you gotta do that to me?
I wouldn't do that to you. I would never say that.
Hold on. No. You hold on this time.
Okay.
Out of nowhere, I'm minding my business. I'm selling cars at Helen Hunt Motors. Don't forget, I'll tell you guys where to find them at. But I'm selling my cars at Helen Hunt Motors, and all of a sudden, I get a text message. Oh, the Yankees are 8 games back. What the fuck was that for, man? What
BJ? I'm just trying to keep BJ. BJ always asks every now and then. We have an unwritten thing where BJ wants to know where y'all in the standings, and like right now, y'all in 4th place in the AL East.
But the thing is, you brung that up out of nowhere, and I'm like, why did you have to bring that up?
It's unwritten. So every now and then it just happens. Like I just say, hey BJ, because he don't pay attention to baseball like that.
So when we win the World Series, and I ask you, and I'm like, damn, who won the World Series? And you got to say the Yankees. And I just keep bringing that up until the next season.
So more than likely, I'll say it with a very shaky voice. Because at that point, I probably have like a cane and a walker. I'm at like Sunny Pines nursing home. Because y'all know this is your window is short. Because these Oriole boys are coming.
My window is always short, brother.
The Oriole boys are gonna be y'all heels. So y'all better be ready.
Well, Before we get out of here, Pat Fitzgerald was fired, Northwestern head coach. What was he fired for?
There's a couple of complaints that have come out about hazing, about things that are happening on the campus in terms of the football team. There's situations or talks about where there's possible nudity, hazing to a certain degree. I don't know what that degree is, and I don't want to speculate beyond that. And a couple kids finally, I guess, they broke and they complained to the athletic director and the president, and the president was on vacation, and he kind of said, "All right, I'm gonna suspend him for 2 weeks, or put him." Yeah, I think he said suspend him for 2 weeks, and then as more and more information just start funneling out, and of course, in this era where we are, once information starts hitting the fan, stuff comes out, and I know the president didn't interview the primary complaint or complainer, so I don't know how he got to the firing, but I guess there was enough information coming down the pipeline that didn't sound good and didn't sound like it's something that they could recover from, so he decided to fire him. I mean, there's some scary, some possible sexual assault type of things in this, some harassment, so even some racial stuff. So it's not exactly in the, like, they're hitting all four buttons of, the I don't know the word I want to use, but they're hitting all the points of where you deserve to get fired. Like, the only thing he didn't get was like caught drunk with like a teenage girl. Like, that's the only thing he didn't have in that. You know what I'm saying? Like, he hit all the buttons that was like the signal. Like, let's fire this guy.
Here's my question to you. Now, we're in the same generation, and I always say this: we grew up different.
Right.
What is considered hazing?
That's a great question, and I wish I really had an answer for you, but I don't, because I don't know what these guys consider it. We always used to see a guy in training camp tied to the goalpost and getting water dumped on him, or you see a guy come back to the locker room with his clothes being in the freezer, and they're frozen solid. So I don't know. Or you saw the guy that he pissed off the veteran so much that the vet got those little styrofoam peanuts and packed his whole car with him.
They did that to B. Mitch.
Right.
You know what he said he did?
He probably fought somebody.
No. He said, man, I opened the door. He said, it was funny. I opened the door. I let all the windows down, opened the sunroof, and pulled off. He said, I let all them peanuts fly out.
Mm-hmm.
He said, y'all cleaned it up. I ain't cleaned it up. He's like, I wasn't mad about it. He said, team building. Doc Walker tell you, they used to throw Mark Mosley. They used to throw him in the mud, tied up the goalposts. But they was like, he was the most respected player one of the most respected players on the team. But it was just having fun.
Right, but
everybody gets it.
There was one, I think, was it Scott Turner? I think they got Scott Turner one year.
They said they used to tape him up and put him in a training basket.
Hey. But I mean
every year.
But think about it. Like, we grew up, we didn't have seatbelts until we were probably like 15. We played throwback tackle on concrete. It's just different things. We played on the concrete basketball. You played next, and then if your next wasn't for 4 games, you sat there and played until your next came up. So now they play next, and their next is the next game on PlayStation, where they run to the court on NBA 2K and will stand in line with people. So yeah. I mean, we're a little bit different, and I'm gonna get off my my soapbox because I don't want kids yet. I'm shaking my fist at the cloud. But yeah, that's it. So, but I mean, I don't want to diminish, or I don't want our conversation here to kind of diminish what may be happening, because we don't know the extent.
Exactly.
But I know we don't mean to do that because we're having fun. But again, I want to get back. Like, I think that situation, the more that comes out, this could get to. I don't think it's gonna be Penn State level, but it could be something that shakes up a campus and a program where they may have to bring somebody in. I don't know, because we're in a different culture and the climate.
Yeah, and the thing is, not no way, shape, or form diminishing anything that was complained about. I want to know what's considered hazing nowadays.
Right.
The stuff that we consider hazing, like what was that? Was it the Saints or was it the Rams when they had the rookies blindfolded? They were hitting them with pillows. Somebody had a loaded pillow and wound up breaking the guy's eye socket. He never played football. He was a rookie. He never was able to play football again because they had a loaded pillow. Like, it's been stuff like that. Now, that's going too far. That's just entirely too far. Now, I've always
I think the good stuff would have been the rookie talent shows.
Yes.
I always, what's the dude from Alabama? He's like, Goose, I want restitution, Goose. I want restitution.
That was Shannon Sharp.
No, it was Shannon Sharp, but they had a rookie the next season.
Oh, yeah. Ah, man, what was his name?
It was an outside linebacker from Alabama. He did absolutely nothing in his pro career, but yeah.
But he had that moment on Hard
Knocks. Because he had the hat down over his eyes.
Yeah.
Wait, sugar. I want restitution.
But, as a rookie or even as a freshman, it was always you carried the upperclassmen's bags.
Right.
Oh, I'm not doing that. You're not going to degrade me and punk me. Nobody's trying to punk you. It's a respect thing. Everything is not about punking nobody or one-upping you or disrespecting you. It's not that. You bring the veterans donuts. It's donuts. You're a multi-million-dollar player. It's donuts. How hard is it? That's donuts.
And to be honest with you, if you got the right vets, and I'm not saying because most vets will do this, you go get the donuts. You bring the donuts in. When you leave, that vet done hit you with $250, $300 to cover more than the cost of the donuts, more than your gas. You know what I'm saying? And depending on how you play, Brian Mitchell, you also always say, Wilbur Marshall used to pad his pockets. He'd be like, hey, if you the first one down making a tackle, here go 2 G's for you. Yeah. So Brian Mitchell was like, yeah, my paycheck was one thing, but I made more in incentives from my teammates.
It's that type of, but you know what that does? That builds a brotherhood. It builds a bond. But now you got, sometimes they go, and apparently this is a time that it went too far. Whatever it was, it went too far. But you have incidents that I've seen blown out of proportion.
Right.
And we got into a fight because the vet told me I had to carry his bags. Well, yeah, you like his little brother now. They treat you as soon as you get drafted. Don't matter where you got drafted at, you still a little brother. You're the baby of the family. So everybody's gonna have you doing something. And I've said it on this show millions of times. When you got young guys and young ladies, the older players, whether you're in college and you're talking about juniors and seniors, if you do have any, or if you're in the pros and you got veterans, I've always heard, the veterans take you under your wing. You live with a veteran to get yourself together so they don't have you making mistakes out here. That's what it's about. It's about teaching you, but trying to save you at the same time while messing with you and poking with you. I'm done because I sound like an old man, and we gotta get to this. Man, tonight's show was sponsored by Helen Hunt Motors. I am the new sales manager over there at Helen Hunt Motors. Just got promoted today. Is your money funny? Is your change strange? Will your credit not get it? Bring your broke ass on over to Helen Hunt Motors. There's only one location that's near you. You need a car to get from A to B? Go to Helen Hunt for it. All right. I think we done.
I think we done, man.
I think we done. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us tonight.
If you see a car that you want, come see Helen Hunt.
Yeah, you got to go to Helen Hunt for it. Got to go to Helen Hunt for it. Anything, whatever you need, luxury, bucket, go to hell and hunt for it. That's it. That guy over there, that's the Midnight Rider. I'm the big guy, KG. We don't do no overtime, y'all. We did it in an hour. That's how good we are. We are out of here.